Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Donna Just Being Real. Yes, everybody's here. We're waiting for this verdict, but it hasn't started. So we're just gonna wait a few minutes, just listen to the music. I said, let me just start and we'll just wait from here. We'll all wait together. All right. If anybody's new to this and don't know what's happening, please feel free to read the description. It will tell you exactly what this trial is all about. But today they're supposed to be giving the verdict. The verdict. Yes, the verdict. All right. And who do we see? Jenny, and blessings to you and happy Friday to you. Art in house. Happy Friday to you too. And then do we have Jazz? Jazz just pop up in here. Oh, you waiting too? That's right. And happy Friday to you and Amber. Amber, there you go. There you go. There you go. And blessings to you. Blessings to you and a happy Friday. Happy Friday to everybody. Yeah, we waiting for this ham hock over here. Let's get this ham hock verdict. It's time. It's time. Piece of crap did this to this little girl. To my this thing, just disgusting looking. Disgusting. Okay. And Della, do we have a Della in here? And happy Friday, happy Friday. Oh, is Della. I hope I'm saying it right. Am I saying it right, Della? Della? Hope I am. If I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. Okay. I got my notification. All right, happy Friday. And we have Sandy, Grand Rising. Happy Friday to you too. All right, I'm checking y'all, ladies and gentlemen. I have it set up, but it hasn't started yet. I would show you like a clip for some entertainment, but I don't want to do that now. Okay, so I said it right. Good. Good. Yes, justice for Bree. Justice for Bree. Breasia. Beautiful girl. Beautiful girl. Poor angel. And make sure everybody you're hitting the like button. Share me out in your social media if you like. And subscribe to the channel. And also make sure you leave some feedback. What Della said. Della, where you at? I've been waiting for oh yeah, everybody's been waiting. But I guess the wait is longer because due to the fact is, like I said before, is, you know, this is different. This is a bench trial. This is not a jury. A jury just makes the decision. All he do is just give the sentencing. Now he has to make the decision and probably have a lot of paperwork to do. And then we have to remember there's a lot of other court cases that he's dealing with. Not just Ham Hock. There's a lot of sickos out here, unfortunately. All right, did anybody was able to I just seen clips, but I never did get to hear what was in the letter. This famous letter that he wrote. Okay. Now who else do we have up in here too? Michael. Let's all chant. Here comes the judge. Yeah, right. Come on, judge. Write a letter acting like they're gonna do this whole trial over again. I wasn't treated fair. You had your opportunity to talk, but you denied it. You didn't want to. Kendall. Good morning, Donna Mod and chat, and good morning to you and a happy Friday. Yes. I love Fridays. Fridays is phenomenal. Oh, what happened to my music? Okay. Wish I could show y'all like a clip. And Della says, what else? Just look at him. He looks like pure evil. I agree. He does have an evil look. He does. I don't understand. What the heck do these women see in this man? What do you see in him? Who want to lay down with this thing? I don't get it. You know, hey, I guess everybody has their choice, right? Everybody has their choice of who they want to date, right? And stuff. Yeah. Interesting. Poor Angel. You wasn't protected. You wasn't put first. It's not like she went outside to go and get some ice cream, like I said, playing in a park, and some creep came by in the van and just took her away. Nope. It didn't happen that way. Sandy says, justice for Bree. That's right. You're beautiful. Isn't she gorgeous? She's so gorgeous. She's so gorgeous. He is evil monster. Fidel, pure evil. Pure evil. And another thing, she was failed too, the justice system. Because if the justice system would have just kept his butt locked up when his first offense, and when he was, I think he was a few times that he was he didn't register as a SO. He didn't register, so they should have been locked him up. If you don't register, you can't stay out. We'll just keep you in jail where we know exactly where you at. Yep, the justice system, everybody. Peach Gems. I hope I'm saying it right. And welcome. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you too. All right. Definitely evil. I'm checking, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, look like we're getting ready to get somewhere. Oops. All right. Something might be happening. All right, I'm going to put it on. Let me put it on. Okay. All right. So I have it. Make sure the volume is up high. All right. Michael Jones said there must be a shortage of men in Davenport. It must be that they all going crazy for some ham hocks. I don't get it. What do y'all see them? Oh, there go my girl BG in the house, Mott on deck. Yeah, BG, pull out the popcorn. We waiting. Tickety tock, tick, tickety tock. But you know what I'm really waiting for? I want to hear what the judge have to say, like his thoughts and opinions on it. You know, some judges do. They give their thoughts on it, and I'm really curious what he'd say. Or maybe he might not. He might just say guilty. This is it, and then he's done. I don't know. We'll see. But I love to hear when the judges have they throw in their little, their little 2 cents. I love it. All right. Okay. And happy Friday to you. Come on through, Judge. Yep. We waiting, Judge. We waiting. Keeping it real. And hey, Donna and chat, today is the day justice will be served for Breasia. So sad. And this stuff happens so often, ladies and gentlemen. It happens so often. I just don't understand, what does a grown adult sees in a child? You got to be sick in the head. There's something seriously sick about you. And you should have never been born. This man should have never been born. Him and all these other dudes that's like this, and women doing this to little young boys. It's sick. I have the volume up. Nothing's happening. Just the thing over there moving. That's right, BG. Happy Friday. I want to go get me some more water, but I'm scared to move away and miss it here. Nail Gigi. And blessings. And happy Friday. Yep. Nail GG, finally getting into the verdict. We all waiting. Tickety tock, tickety tock. Can everybody hear me clearly? Let me know, because I'm noticing I'm hearing a little static here, and I'm like, where's this coming from? Someone let me know, do y'all hear me clearly? Sound like my speakers is acting up. Okay, so you can hear me. Okay, so my sound is okay. Guess it's just on my end here. What and thank you for the sound check. And Michael said this anxiety is like waiting for a new year to come. Yeah, waiting for the ball to drop. I agree. Let me change the music. I'm trying to find something a little bit more upbeat. It's Friday. Yeah, we should do something a little bit more upbeat, right? What y'all think? Yeah, there's something going on here. Uh-oh, here we go. Let's get it. Okay, it's mute on their end. Look at all the security around them.
I have it all. Great job, loving wife. But
Oh, the static is coming from them. I think it's from them.
Very appropriately, and I can't tell you how much I appreciated it.
I think I'm gonna have to change to the other.
But I will not tolerate any outbursts as I read this decision. If there's anyone,
I'm gonna change to the other one. I'm gonna change the other one because it sounds better.
The courthouse today that do not conduct themselves appropriately, I have instructed the bailiffs and the law personnel present to remove those individuals that do not conduct themselves appropriately. I know many have questioned why I did not make a decision immediately. And so I thought it was really important that I explain that to everyone. Under Iowa law, the court in a bench trial is required to write a written ruling in a bench trial. And come into open court like I am today to read that verdict. I could simply read the verdict and file my written decision. I've chosen not to do that today. I think this case, due to the crime involved, is very important and very, I find that it's appropriate that I read the entire decision today. Mr. Dinkins is charged in a two-count trial information with the crimes of murder in the first degree in violation of Iowa Code Section 707.2 under count 1 and kidnapping first degree in violation of Iowa Code Section 710.2 under count 2. Murder in the first degree is defined as a person commits murder in the first degree when the person willfully deliberately and with premeditation kills another person. Murder in the first degree is a Class A felony. Kidnapping is defined as when a person either confines a person or removes a person from one place to another. Knowing the person who confines or removes the person has neither the authority nor consent of the other person to do so. Kidnapping first degree is defined as the act of kidnapping accompanied with the intent to inflict serious injury upon such person or subject the person to sexual abuse. Kidnapping first degree is a Class A felony. The defendant is presumed innocent and not guilty. The presumption of innocence remains with the defendant throughout the trial unless the evidence establishes guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. The defendant has entered pleas of not guilty, which is a complete denial of the charges and places the burden on the state to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. If the state has not proven the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, then the court must find the defendant not guilty. In considering the evidence presented, the court makes deductions and reaches conclusions according to reason and common sense. Facts may be proved by direct evidence, circumstantial evidence, or both. Direct evidence is evidence from a witness who claims actual knowledge of a fact, such as an eyewitness. Circumstantial evidence is evidence about a chain of facts which show a defendant is guilty or not guilty. The law makes no distinction between direct evidence and circumstantial evidence. The court must decide the facts from the evidence. The court considers the evidence using its observations, common sense, and experience. The court will try to reconcile any conflicts in the evidence, but if the court cannot, the court accepts the evidence it finds more believable. In determining the facts, the court may have to decide what testimony to believe. The court may believe all, part, or none of any witness's testimony. In determining what testimony to believe, the court considers the reasonableness and consistency of the testimony with other evidence, and internally, whether a witness has made inconsistent statements, as well as the witness's appearance, conduct, age, intelligence, memory, knowledge of the facts, interest in the trial, motive, candor, bias, and prejudice. The burden is on the state to prove the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. A reasonable doubt is one that fairly and naturally arises from the evidence in the case, or from the lack or failure of the evidence produced by the state. If the court, after a full and fair consideration of the evidence, is firmly convinced of the defendant's guilt, then there is no reasonable doubt and the defendant should be found guilty. But if after a full and fair consideration of all the evidence in the case, or from the lack or failure of the evidence produced by the state, the court is not firmly convinced of the defendant's guilt, then there is reasonable doubt and the defendant should be found not guilty. To commit a crime, a person must intend to do an act which is against the law. While it is not necessary that a person knows the act is against the law, it is necessary that the person was aware he was doing the act and he did it voluntarily. Not by mistake or accident, the court may, but is not required to, conclude a person intends the natural results of his acts. Specific intent means not only being aware of an act and doing it voluntarily, but in addition, doing it with a specific purpose in mind. Because determining the defendant's specific intent requires the court to decide what the defendant was thinking when an act was done. It is seldom capable of direct proof. Intent may be shown by circumstantial evidence and the reasonable inference drawn from the evidence. Therefore, the court should consider the facts and circumstances surrounding the act to determine the defendant's specific intent. facts. On July 10th of 2020, Breasia Terrell was reported missing. It was not until March 22nd, 2021, that she was found. On that date, her remains were found in Clinton County, Iowa, near a pond south of the Kunow implement dealership. Prior to her disappearance and death, Breasia knew the defendant, Henry Dinkins. Her mother, Aisha Langford, had a relationship with the defendant, and as a result of that relationship, her mother had a son named DL. Breasia and her brother were only 2 years apart, and therefore were very close to one another. The defendant was involved in the lives of Breasia and DL, but not on a consistent basis. Recently, before July 10th, 2020, Aisha had discussions with the defendant, encouraging him to be more involved in his son's life. As a result, plans were made for the defendant to spend time with DL on July 9th, 2020. On July 9th, 2020, the defendant went to the children's grandmother's home to pick up DL. While there were discussions between the defendant, the children's grandmother, Breasia, DL, and their older brother, CS. During those discussions, it was DL's desire to have his sister, Breasia, come with him, and his older brother, CS, said he would like to come as well. The defendant approved Breasia to come along, but did not approve the older brother, CS, to come along. Although the children's grandmother did not give permission for Breasia to accompany DL during the visit with his father, Breasia did leave with DL and the defendant. When Aisha returned from work, she was informed of the events when the defendant picked up the children. She then gathered clothing for the children, which included pajamas for the evening and other clothes to change into, and then proceeded to the apartment where the defendant resided with his girlfriend, Andrea Culberson. When Aisha arrived at the apartment, Breasia came to the car to collect the clothing, and she was excited to see her mother and their family dog. After the defendant took the children into his care, they proceeded to the home of one of his friends. At that home, the children played video games and other games with the children in the home, while the defendant visited with other adults at the residence. They then proceeded to the apartment located in the Jersey Meadows apartment complex in Davenport, which the defendant shared with his girlfriend of 6 years, Andrea. The apartment occupied by the defendant and Andrea was a one-bedroom apartment, which was accessed by a single exterior door that opened to a staircase entering into the open apartment located on the second floor of the building. The one bathroom in the apartment was located off the bedroom. Also within the bedroom were two closets, one used by Andrea and the other used by the defendant. While at the apartment, DL played video games in the living room area of the apartment, and Breasia played video games and interacted with Andrea while she worked remotely in the bedroom. The children were provided dinner, then showered and readied themselves for bed. The children did not put on pajamas provided by their mother for bed, but each provided defendants large white t-shirts size 4XL to wear to bed. The children were allowed to sleep in the bed in the bedroom, and the defendant and Andrea were going to sleep on the air mattress in the living room area. Breasia fell asleep first, then Andrea, and then soon after DL and the defendant. At some point in the early hours, DL felt his sister Breasia kick him, and in a statement to police remembers seeing her leave with the defendant. Subsequent to that, at 3 o'clock in the morning, Andrea awoke to use the bathroom. At that time, she noted the defendant and Breasia were not present in the apartment. She had not been told that the defendant left, nor that he had taken Breasia with him. She was very concerned about the situation and decided to stay up in the living room in the dark to wait for the defendant. She realized his phone was not charged, so Andrea placed it on a charger. At approximately 3:30 a.m., Andrea heard the defendant open the door to the apartment very quietly and proceeded up the stairs very quietly, as if not to awake anyone. When the defendant arrived, he did not have a conversation with Andrea. Even though she had tried to speak with him, he would not interact with her. While at the apartment, the defendant went into the bedroom and retrieved something from his closet, which he had exclusive use of, and Andrea was unable to see the object retrieved. The court finds that the defendant either retrieved the gun used to kill Breasia or another item to facilitate his murder of Breasia. The size of the revolver retrieved from the pond would have been easily concealed. Prior to the defendant leaving the apartment, Andrea looked out the window and saw Breasia in the large white T-shirt she had worn to bed next to the maroon Chevy Impala. When the defendant pulled away in the vehicle, Breasia was no longer there. The defense argues there is no one testifying they saw Breasia in the Impala. Although this is true, the court is relying on its common sense and experience that if Breasia did not go with the defendant, then she would have entered the apartment or knocked loudly to gain access to the apartment. Breasia was not familiar with this complex. If she was not with the defendant, she would have wanted to be with her brother and Andrea. The defendant then traveled to a quick shop on 53rd Street in Davenport. While at the quick shop, the defendant purchased $35 worth of gas, cigarettes, and a lighter utilizing a $100 bill. The evidence establishes the gasoline purchased was sufficient to fill the tank of the Chevy Impala he was operating. During this time at the quick shop, it is evident the defendant is ensuring that Breasia remains in the vehicle while he is inside the store. From the quick shop, the defendant then traveled to the pond located in Clinton, Iowa, which is south of the Kunow implement plant. This pond is located in the intersection of 218th Street and 270th Avenue. It is at this pond that the court finds the defendant willfully, deliberately, and with premeditation killed Breasia by shooting her 3 times. The defendant then, in the process of leaving the area, became stuck off the side of the road. He then walked to US 61 and flagged down a vehicle driven by Jared Brink. Brink then proceeded to drive the defendant back to the area where the Chevy Impala the defendant was operating was stuck off the roadway. Brink then removed the vehicle utilizing a chain. The defendant offered Brink $100 for his help, which Brink refused. These findings by the court are overwhelmingly supported by all the evidence provided by the state's witnesses, particularly the brave testimony provided by DL.
This judge is getting emotional. Uh-oh.
And his statements to law enforcement.
Ham Hock, you done. You got the judge in tears. You are so done. You are so... He is angry. You are done. You are done. His hands are shaking.
Additionally, the testimony of Brink offered through his discovery deposition and his statements made to police. All of this was further supported by the testimony and statements made by Isha and Andrea. Their testimony and statements were corroborated by the investigative efforts of the Davenport Police Department and the FBI, except for the testimony of DL, stating that he saw his father shot Breasia. the court finds his testimony credible. His testimony is supported by the subsequent investigation by the Davenport Police Department and the FBI, and additionally by his videotaped interview with the police after the disappearance of his sister. This court finds it remarkable that an 8-year-old child is able to communicate with the police with such specificity to allow the Davenport Police Department to begin their investigation. DL explained to the officers he was on a dirt road with his father, and there was a hill which went down towards the water. Additionally, DL stated when he was with his father, the defendant explained he had earlier become stuck, and he was with some fishermen. They pushed him out, and he offered them $100. DL tried to explain the area he was with his father, which included seeing tractors, water, and a hill down to the water. It was not until later this statement is corroborated by subsequent discovery of Breasia's remains. The court finds beyond a reasonable doubt DL was present in the area while he was with the defendant. FBI Special Agent James McMillan took soil samples in the area where Jared Brink pulled the defendant from the shoulder of the road. Those soil samples were compared to soil samples obtained from the undercarriage of the Chevy Impala operated by the defendant. FBI forensic geologist examiner Ian Sagadorn determined 3 of the samples taken from the area concentrated where the Chevy Impala would have been stuck were inclusive to those soil samples taken from the undercarriage of the Chevy Impala operated by the defendant. Brink came forward after the news of Breasia's remains were discovered, and there is no doubt in this court's mind whatsoever he identified the defendant as the operator of the Chevy Impala, which he removed from the shoulder of the road, and that he identified the vehicle removed from the shoulder of the road, that being one operated by the defendant. Brink identified a very distinct characteristic of the defendant's face, which was a mole on the right side of his face by his nose. The white aux cord located within the vehicle, and the shorts worn by the defendant at the time he had made contact with him. All of this evidence proves beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant had Bresia Terrell within his control. He was at the site of her remains, and he was the only person who shot Bresia that early morning of July 10th, 2020. The defendant after being pulled from the shoulder of the road by Brink near the pond located by Kuno Implement in Clinton County, Iowa, then returned to the apartment he shared with Andrea in Davenport around sunrise. When the defendant arrived at the apartment, Andrea was surprised to see the defendant in a different set of clothes. Andrea testified when she fell asleep, the defendant was wearing a white tank top and colorful shorts. When he arrived back at the apartment, he was in a white t-shirt and blue shorts. Upon his return, he took DL with him. Before he left with DL, Andrea insisted the defendant take his cell phone with him. Even during this time, no discussions were had that Bresia had disappeared. The defendant then traveled to Walmart, located in Clinton, Iowa. At Walmart, his only purchase was 2 bottles of Clorox bleach. The defendant, on the way back to Davenport, stopped at the pond located at the intersection of 2018th Street and 270th Avenue in Clinton County. It is unclear whether the defendant may have stopped at this location on his way to the Clinton Walmart, but it's beyond reasonable doubt the defendant did stop there after making the purchase of bleach at the Walmart in Clinton. DL clearly described this area in his statements to the police and by his statements of his father wiping off a large knife with bleach. DL's testimony and statements regarding this portion of the activities of the defendant are clearly supported by all the investigative evidence presented by the state. Cell phone records of ping notifications of the defendant's cell phone are non-existent until DL places the battery back into the defendant's phone at the Walmart in Clinton. The testimony from the various officers of the Davenport Police Department and special agents of the FBI were credible as to their findings of the cell phone being disabled or dead when the battery being placed back into it and the pings were registered on the various cell towers. The fact the defendant's car was equipped with an auxiliary cord to charge the cell phone further supports the court's finding that the defendant was taking actions to avoid his whereabouts being traced by a cell phone pinging on cellular towers during his travels. The court finds DL's statement, testimony as to the smell of bleach while the defendant was wiping off the large knife, which the evidence indicates was the machete, very credible. There was bleach purchased, and the court finds it reasonable that such substance was used at the time of wiping the knife and would have been used in the area in which Breasia's remains were recovered. DL's testimony and statements are further corroborated by the fact the officers investigating this case had no knowledge of why the defendant's cell phone would have pinged in the area of Clinton Walmart. It is only due to DL's statement that he placed the battery back in his father's phone to play a game and then took it out upon his father's return from being in the store. This information led to further investigation as to the defendant actually being in the Clinton Walmart and purchasing the bleach. At the time of DL's statements, there was no knowledge of purchase of bleach. Additionally, after DL identified the knife as the machete in the exhibit shown by Detective Hammis, there was no knowledge of such machete prior to the discovery of the machete in the defendant's RV. Although machete did not reveal DNA or fingerprints, it is clear to this court it had been wiped off because there were fibers within the serrated edge of the machete. Then again, after leaving the area of the pond, the defendant traveled into Davenport and traveled in the area of his motorhome in Credit Island. Clearly, he placed the machete, which had been in his trunk, into the motorhome. The defendant called Aisha at 8:08 a.m., telling her that he had just woken up and Breasia was missing. Although prior to this time, he had been driving all around Clinton County, and at that time of the call to Aisha, he would have just been entering Davenport as he was seen traveling south on Highway 61 at 7:52 a.m. He was then in the southwest area of Davenport and near Rockingham Road, near his motorhome in Credit Island. He did not leave that area of southwest Davenport until approximately 8:26 a.m. During all of this time, there was a series of telephone calls and text messages between the defendant and Aisha. During these exchanges, the defendant advised Aisha he was traveling to the Davenport Police Department to make the report of Breasia's disappearance. Aisha then left her place of employment at Checkers on East Locust Street in Davenport and headed to the police station. It was at this time Aisha was traveling west on Locust Street to the police station. She noticed the defendant heading east at a high rate of speed. She then turned around to follow the defendant and caused him to stop at the McDonald's at Eastern Avenue in Kimberly. Around this time, Aisha made contact with the Davenport Police Department and determined the defendant never appeared at the Davenport Police Department, and the request was made that she and the defendant proceed to the Jersey Meadow apartment complex. They then proceeded in different vehicles to the apartment complex and met with police officers who responded to the initial investigation of the disappearance of Breasia. Upon her arrival to the complex, Aisha was the first individual to meet with responding officer Craig Burkle. Officer Burkle advised both Aisha and the defendant he would like to search through the apartment to ensure Breasia was not hiding within the apartment. Immediately, the defendant stated she's not there and they had looked everywhere. The defendant took Officer Burkle up to the door of the apartment. When approaching the door to the apartment, the defendant knocked, which was odd since he occupied the apartment with Andrea. Andrea answered the door, was very hesitant to allow the officer in, and only allowed him in after it was confirmed the defendant consented to the officer searching the apartment. Officer Burkle then searched the apartment. Of course, Breasia was not located within the apartment, but upon Officer Burkle's return outside, the defendant was nowhere to be found. Subsequently, Officer Burkle called the defendant's cell phone at least 6 times within an hour's period, and then texted the defendant. There was no response from the defendant until he called Officer Burkle upon his entering the police station at approximately 12 o'clock p.m. The defendant's whereabouts were unknown for a period of approximately 3 hours. Through cellular tower pings, it was determined the defendant had traveled to his sister's home on approximately 3 occasions, which is supported by cellular analysis. It is important to note that the defendant had changed his clothes from the early morning hours from the white tank top, blue and pink shorts, and gold shoes into a white t-shirt, blue shorts, and still gold shoes. And then upon his arrival at the police station, had different tennis shoes on, which were blue and white. Search warrants were executed for all of the vehicles, the apartment that the defendant shared with Andrea Culberson, and the home of the defendant's sister. At no time were the white tank top, pink and blue shorts, or gold shoes ever recovered at any location. They were nowhere to be found during the entirety of this investigation. Shortly after noon, the defendant was then interviewed by the Davenport Police Department. During this interview, the defendant was extremely evasive as to the location of the Chevy Impala. He was very evasive about his whereabouts. He stated at various times that he had been looking all over Davenport for Breasia, and that he had no knowledge of where she was at. He made no statement to the officer that he was with Breasia at 3:30 in the morning, and gave no information about the fact that he had traveled all the way to Clinton, Iowa with DL. He also indicated to the officer that he had traveled to his motorhome to get money in order to purchase gas. The court finds the statement by the defendant completely untruthful, as he would have had sufficient monies from the change he received back from his purchase at the Quick Shop. He had $100 to offer Brink, and most notably, in Exhibit 6-16, the officers located approximately $5,000 in $100 bills in the search of the Chevy Camaro, which was operated by the defendant and had ability to access. The only truthful statement the defendant made during his interview with the police was that he went to the Quick Shop. The court finds none of the statements that the defendant made during the interview to be truthful in any respect. The court finds beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant was the last person seen with Breasia. He had taken custody of her, had no authority to do so, and removed her from the apartment from which he had authority to care for her, with the specific intent to inflict a serious injury upon her, knowing that he did not have the consent or authority of Breasia or her mother to do so. And as a result of that removal, Breasia suffered death, which is clearly a serious injury. The court finds beyond a reasonable doubt that Breasia was shot by the defendant and that she died as a result of being shot. And the defendant did this act with malice aforethought, and the defendant acted willfully, deliberately, and premeditatedly with all the specific intent to kill Breasia. All this occurred on or about the 10th day of July, 2020, and the criminal activity began in Scott County, Iowa, and the defendant's criminal activity continued as he traveled into Clinton County, Iowa. The court finds beyond a reasonable doubt that the remains located at the pond at the intersection of 18th Street and 270th Avenue are those of Breasia as a result of the testimony of the forensic anthropologist, Dr. Heather Garvin, and the medical examiner, Dr. Kelly Cruz. Matthew Dean and David Baker were both inmates at the Clinton County Jail while the defendant was being held pending trial in this matter. Both of them credibly testified during the airing of a news story concerning the disappearance of Breasia. The defendant made this statement: "They are never going to find her." Both of these witnesses are credible, specifically Matthew Dean, who was no longer being held on any criminal charges, and David Baker testified he was not receiving special treatment in regards to any pending criminal charges in exchange for his testimony. Therefore, neither of these individuals had anything to gain from their testimony. Specifically, David Baker testified when he heard the defendant make the statement, he took the statement to mean the defendant knew where Breasia was located. The court found every witness who testified on behalf of the state to be credible in their testimony. As noted, the only testimony the court did not find credible was that of DL, as to him being present and seeing the defendant shoot Breasia. The court's credibility findings are appropriate as statements were consistent between all the witnesses and were corroborated by the investigative efforts of the Davenport Police Department and the FBI and all other agencies. Again, it should be noted all of these investigative efforts would not have been fruitful had it not been for the information provided by DL. DL was instrumental in solving the murder and kidnapping of his sister, Breasia. The court specifically finds the defendant was not savvy in any manner. The defendant did not account for the statements and testimony of DL and that of Jared Brink. The evidence provided by these two witnesses clearly, and all the other witnesses, undermined every effort which the defendant may have taken to be savvy or calculated in his actions to avoid being charged and prosecuted for the kidnapping and murder of Breasia. Ruling and verdict. Count 1, murder in the first degree. The court finds the state has met its burden of proof in this case. The court finds beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant committed murder in the first degree. The court finds beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant acted with malice of forethought and willfully and premeditatedly and with the specific intent to kill Breasia Terrell, shot her on July 10th of 2020. And as a result of being shot, Breasia Terrell died. Thus, the defendant is guilty of the crimes of murder in the first degree. Accordingly, the court, based on the testimony of the witnesses and review of the exhibits offered in this case, finds the defendant, Henry Earl Dinkins, guilty of the offense of murder in the first degree in violation of Iowa Code Section 707.2, paren 1, paren B. Count 2, kidnapping first degree. The court finds the state has met its burden of proof in this case. The court finds beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant committed kidnapping first degree. The court finds beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant removed Breasia Terrell on July 10th, 2020 from the apartment in which he was caring for her with the specific purpose of inflicting serious injury upon Breasia Terrell. The defendant knew he did not have the consent or authority of Breasia Terrell to do so, and as a result of that removal, intentionally subjected Breasia Terrell to serious injury, that being death. Accordingly, the court, based on the testimony of the witnesses and a review of the exhibits offered in this case, finds the defendant, Henry Earl Dinkins, guilty of the offense of kidnapping first degree in violation of Iowa Code Section 710.2. It is therefore ordered and adjudged and decreed that the defendant, Henry Earl Dinkins, is guilty of the offense of, under count 1, murder in the first degree in violation of Iowa Code Section 707.2, paren 1, paren B, and guilty under count 2, kidnapping first degree in violation of Iowa Code Section 710.2, as contained in the trial information filed by the state of Iowa. It is further ordered an informal pre-sentence investigation report shall be prepared by the 7th Judicial District Department of Correctional Services. The PSI shall be electronically filed by noon 3 days prior to the date of sentencing. It is further ordered sentencing in this matter is scheduled for October 11th at 1:30 in the afternoon. It is further ordered the defendant is being found guilty of forcible felony shall remain in the Scott County Jail pending sentencing without bond. Thank you.
Off you go, Ham Hock. Oh, this is a wrap. It's a wrap. Done. Your son basically did it. That was perfect. Oh my gosh. He had the judge in tears. He had the judge in tears. Thank you, Teresa Bell. Thank you. Solange, exactly, the audacity of him. Low life ham hock. I wonder that's her firstborn son. That could be. Oh my Lord, he's tall. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we finally have the verdict is in. This clown really thought that he was going to get away with it. Then got the nerves to have the attitude. And someone put up a comment here. And let me go and find it. Oh gosh, what was that comment? What was that comment? It was a comment. Oh, Kendall said, Henry is mad because someone is finally holding him accountable. Narcissists never win court. Find Henry Dinkins guilty. Exactly. See, I'm so sick and tired of these narcissists and sociopaths and everything. They always think it's poor them. It's all about them. But no. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Oh, the verdict is finally in. So what they say, October the 11th. And thank everybody for being here. Thank everybody for engaging. And if you didn't hit the like, hit the like. And let me read the poll real quick. What did I say? Poll. I got 56 votes. Oh, it's going up. Everybody, 96% said guilty. And 4% said not sure. I was wondering, anybody gonna pick innocent? I'm about to say, how do you think he'd be innocent? That was so sad. She got me crying. I understand. Even to Miss Toy, the judge. That's why I kept saying I wanted to hear what the judge had to say. That judge was listening to everything. And he gives so much respect for that little boy. And it was so emotional from the judge. His hands were shaking. He had tears comes out. He was trying to hold his composure. Ham Hock, you know you did it. You done. If you got the judge like that, I hate to see what's going to happen to you in that jailhouse. In the prison house. Where's Andrea? They just showed her. She's the one with the like purplish gray hair. Was hugging the lady with the long blonde hair. That was the mother. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can pull it up again. Let me see. Let me pull it up again. There goes the mother. That's the mother right there. That's the mommy. And you're going to see grandma in a second. But I saw that tall young man. I think that might be her firstborn son. Because you know she has an older son. And someone said about with the father. I was hearing that he was in prison at first. Now I'm hearing that he passed away. And stuff. So maybe he passed away later on or something like that. And Kendall, thank you for the blessing. Thank you for the blessing. And happy Friday. Thank you. Yeah, that's the mother. You're gonna see grandma in a second. Oh gosh, I lost where I was at with the chat. Yeah, he needs to seriously cut his hair. I don't know how you gonna come to court like that? I don't get it. See right there, you see the tall man right there? I think that's the oldest son. Oh my Lord, he's tall. There go grandma right there. There she go. With the shells in her hair. Oh, she got the shells like the granddaughter. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let y'all go. I'm going to let y'all go. And thank you for being here. Thank you for engaging. Let me just go through these comments real quick. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, so you saw the mommy. Yeah, that's the mommy. That's the mommy. Justice for the angel. You know what? I could tell the judge is like, this should have never happened. This was just horrible. This was horrible. This should have never happened to that little girl. Never. Well, he'll be locked up. He'll never be able to touch another child again. Because these sickos will do it again. It's just too much. It's too much with them. When you play deadly games, you win deadly prizes. You got it. You got it. What is it? Praise the Lord Jesus. Oh, amen. Hello, Cindy, Cindy, Cindy. There you go. There you go. He was not savvy at all. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. He thought he was. He thought he was smarter than everybody else. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Prayers to the family. Let me see what's that. I feel her a little thumbnail pic needs to be made bigger than his nasty face we see. Ooh, I understand. I understand. I understand. I completely understand. Okay, what was else I was at? What's that? The judge tears up when he spoke about DL. The judge feels it. You know, you have a lot of people out here that have empathy and has a heart. They do. The judge made me get emotional and cry. Poor Breasia. Didn't you feel it with the judge? And I like the way he explained, because he could tell everybody's watching on social media and they was concerned, and the way he explained why he didn't just immediately get the verdict. And just like I thought, like he said, you know, it's this paperwork that has to be done, and he wants to make sure that the Jazz. Ooh, I like your thumbnail picture. It's pretty. Avatar picture. It's pretty. He explained that, and that's good, because, you know, I said he was doing it. He's making a decision, so there's paperwork that you have to do, and you have to remember he got other cases too. Ooh, the truth said Andrea should be in prison too. Ooh. Yeah, I still do feel, you know, that this child was not protected. She was not put first. You know, there's more to it, but hey, it is what it is, unfortunately. It is what it is. Wasn't the applause nice? It was nice. It was nice. It was nice. Pink love. Blessings, blessings, and happy Friday. BG said mom wasn't crying when she was refusing to help the police officer. Who was first on the scene. I still cannot get over how she walked off from that police officer. No, there's nothing to explain. I know you're saying that, well, Ham Hock peed you off. Okay, you could walk away from him. But right now, your child's missing. I need the officer. Talk to him. But some people might just disagree with me. Mike says, no, where is Andrea Holska? Oh, I'm getting it mixed up. Andrea is the girlfriend. I'm so sorry. Getting it mixed. I'm thinking the other one. Okay, just ask my Andrea. No, Andrea wasn't. They didn't show nothing with Andrea. It was just the mother. Oh, the picture I was shown was the mother. No, I didn't see anything with Andrea. I didn't see her in the courtroom. And she's not going to be in the courtroom. No, she not. Because she knows she's wrong. She's completely wrong. Because what she said in that body cam is completely different than what she said in the court. I feel the women in the entire picture need to all be held accountable. I agree. The judge is getting emotional when a highlighted moment. Emotion was a highlighted moment. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I don't know if all process loss and death differently, but there was no tears prior to today. Okay, let me see anything else. Oh, yes, the judge did that. Okay. What this Condell says. I'm glad Henry was found guilty, but if Andrea had spoken up when she saw Breasia. If true, our beautiful Breasia would be here. That's facts. That's the truth. There is no way I'm just going to see some little girl outside 3-something and not question. She didn't question. I know some people's leaving me comments. Oh, and I appreciate everybody who's leaving comments. People's watching the videos and watching my old videos, replays, everything. I truly appreciate. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And everybody who's been supporting the channel, sending blessings through the Cash App, PayPal, the Super Chats. I appreciate. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But I don't understand how she was just able to she lied on the body cam. She says this, then she get on the stand, she says that. And then someone left me a comment. That's what I was getting into. Somebody left me a comment and they said that there was a interrogation with Andrea or something, and we never seen that. And I was wondering when she was questioned. And then also they said that in the beginning she was like, defending Ham Hock. I guess in the beginning she was defending him, saying he didn't do anything. But then she changed. I guess when they realized they're going to lock her up. I'm telling you, she need to be on the next episode for my man. It's her final moment for her. How can he live with himself? Okay. Let me see here. Brian, and welcome, Brian Ray, welcome. The judge made the correct decision to convict this sick trash Henry Dinkins. He's guilty. All of his movements and everything he did made him guilty as sin. Facts, that's truth. Yes, amen, amen. Miss Toy says, if you haven't hit the like button coming in, hit it on your way out. Exactly. Yeah, let's get the likes up. The math is not mathing. It's not adding up. Yes, Miss Donna, when Mom walked away and drove off, that really upset me, didn't it? Oh my gosh, I couldn't even believe. That's why, if you notice, everybody's been following me, I kept showing this body cam. I just couldn't believe the stuff I was seeing in this body cam. All right, let me finish reading. Thumbs up. Like, how in that moment could you do that when your only daughter is missing? Made no sense. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't know. Anybody can explain. Please try to make sense out of it. Anybody can make sense out of it? I don't. Yes, if you walked away. Ooh, hold just a second, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, like I was saying, makes sense of that. I don't know. It's possible. Kate says, he just came home 4 months ago from a SA case. Why would she let her children go with him? Oh, I didn't know that tidbit. I don't get it. I really just don't get it. Wayne, blessings and happy Friday. You too, happy Friday, Annette. All right, what did, Anita. Wayne says, man, when the judge got emotional, I knew it was already game over. But that sealed his faith. And did you see his look that he was sitting there? Ham Hock, like, sit back, rolling his eyes, catching attitude like poor him. Andrea was messing with her too in the bedroom when the three were just in there. I'm not catching that one too much. Okay, Brian says, just hope the family can begin to heal. They will never recover from their loss, but hopefully they can do this best to heal over time. Amen. And most important, that DL, he needs some serious therapy. I just hope the mother is going to be consistent in taking him to therapy, because if not, you could tell when he was in the courtroom, you could tell he's mad. He's angry. That look that he gave his father. And he needs to talk to someone so he can get that anger out, or he's going to take it out the wrong way. Especially when it comes to young boys. especially when it comes to young boys. Okay, where am I at? Andrea was never slept. Don't trust her at all. Never sleep. I don't. No. She's an enabler. She's an enabler. All right, what it says is, I blame the grandmother as well. Yeah, I question grandma too. Gotta be a lot of Kingsley on Ham Hock. Yeah, they're gonna get him. Yes, they're gonna get him. All right, I have a feeling Henry will sing like a canary once fully incarcerated. Possibility, because he seemed like the type. He's going to talk about how Andrea knew more than she's letting off. You never know, and that would be something else, right? Ooh. Oh. Ooh, yeah, you got a point. All right, what it says here. During Andrea's testimony, she said that she searched the apartment but didn't search the closets. Yeah, I caught that. That makes no sense. She knows a lot more. Yeah. Well, you know what? Since I have you all here, let's just watch his body cam again. Let's just end off with the body cam. Let's watch his body cam. Let me find it. Just give me a second here. And then I'm going to let everybody go. Oh, and a question I have for y'all. Okay, I found the body cam. Just a second here. This is a question I have for y'all. I had showed the news clip, and maybe I'll show it too after this body cam, that they found a couple of weeks before her disappearance that he was looking at, little kitty pictures, if you know what I'm talking about. And that the defense wanted to bring that to the trial. But anybody let me know, they didn't bring that to trial, did they? I didn't hear anything about that. And especially after listening to the judge, I think the judge would have brought it up. But I want to know why they didn't bring that in as evidence. If you found he was looking at these kind of pictures, why that wasn't, as evidence. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Let me know. Let me show you that news clip. Let's start off with that news clip, okay? Yes, let's start off with that news clip. Let me see if I can find it. Stupid Ham Hock. Give me a second, ladies and gentlemen, while I find it. I'm just going to find that news clip. It's like about under 2 minutes. I'm a little baffled why they didn't bring that in the trial. Unless I missed it.
In the upcoming
I don't think I did. Okay, this is the clip that I was talking about.
developments in the upcoming murder trial against Henry Dinkins, the man accused of killing Breasia Terrell.
Scott County prosecutors want the court to admit evidence they say could point to a motive. Evidence prosecutors say shows Dinkins searched for child pornography around the time the girl disappeared. That is tonight's top story.
The 50-year-old is charged with first-degree murder and kidnapping. More than 100 witnesses are on the list to testify in his trial next month in Lynn County. Court records indicate the evidence prosecutors want to introduce say Breasia and her brother spent the night at Henry Dinkins' apartment July 9th of 2020, and that Dinkins' girlfriend at the time said there was no sign of Dinkins or Breasia Terrell very early the next morning.
Court documents indicate the girlfriend says Dinkins came home after sunrise without the girl. Breasia's brother told officers he and his father went to Walmart to buy Clorox. Investigators say Dinkins' phone pinged at a Walmart in Clinton early on July 10th. Court records also say the evidence prosecutors want admitted is that Dinkins searched pornographic websites for material involving the sexual abuse of young black girls in the 10 days before Bresia Terrell disappeared. Henry Dinkins and his family maintain his innocence. We go into much greater detail about the story.
Okay, explain that to me. I don't understand why they didn't bring that up. That's weird. Okay, Yolanda said something. I can't understand her walking away. As a mother, I have given you all the information I have. Talking is wasting time. I'm going to look for my baby. Bye. But she just came there and she's talking to the officer and he wanted some pictures and stuff and I don't know. Okay. Thank you for sharing that though. Thank you for sharing that. All right, let's get into the body cam, and I promise I'm gonna let y'all go. It's Friday. Okay. Give me a second here so I can pull it up. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to watch the body cam again. Let's get it.
Your mom? Yeah. Okay. How do you spell it?
A-I-S-H-I-A.
Last name?
Langford, L-A-N-K-F-O-R-D.
Date of birth?
8/28 of 1991.
Address?
614 West 63rd Street, apartment number 1.
Phone number?
563
Yep.
676 4247.
Okay. And Henry lives here.
Yeah, I guess so. This is where he told me to come.
Okay.
He don't even know how long she's even been gone.
Yeah. What's your daughter's name?
Breasia, B-R-E-A.
E-A?
S-I-A.
B-R-E-A-S-I-A?
Yes.
Okay.
Terrell, T-E-R-R-E-L-L.
Okay. What's your middle initial?
D.
Her date of birth?
12/4/09.
Okay. What's up, Henry? So when was the last time you saw her?
She was in the house.
Yeah, when was the last time you saw her?
9:30.
Last night?
Like 9:30.
Okay. Okay.
With him.
Okay. When was the last time you saw her?
She was in the bed when I woke up this morning.
She was in the bed?
Yeah.
When you went to bed last night? Okay.
This is crazy, man. This is like, you know what I'm saying? I know she fucking going fucking hysterical, big brother.
Yeah. D-I-N.
K-I-N-S.
Your date of birth, Henry?
August 2nd, 72.
Is this your home address?
No.
What's your address?
It's down by Ralston Arena.
Just a guy, just.
Yeah, I just know down.
You don't know your
I don't know the
address?
full address.
Do you know your phone number?
Hell no, I don't even know that either. I swear to God, I don't.
You don't know where you live, and you don't know your telephone number. Nasty. Look at them. And you're right. Oh, got another Donna in the house. Love it, Donna. Ham Hock used his son, and it backfired. Oh, yeah. He thought. He really thought. Let's get back to it.
Henry, you don't know where your daughter is, you don't know your address, and you don't know your phone number.
No, for real. I'm finna
So,
give it to you now. You think I'll be lying, but
well, no, it's just it's kind of.
because I don't call myself.
I know, but you got to know your number. You got to know your address.
I don't.
So this is your girlfriend's address here?
This is good for it.
Okay.
Okay, here go my phone number right here.
Okay. What was she last wearing?
In the bed.
What you have on, some shorts?
What color?
I don't remember. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't
What's her height and weight, you think?
She's a little taller than he is.
Okay.
She's a little taller than that. She's probably about like this here.
Okay. What's her hair look like?
She had
Brownie,
dreads. Long.
dreads.
Long.
Long and dreads hair?
Yep.
Like shoulder length or
Down.
middle of the back?
Down here.
Okay. Mid back, dreads. Right? Is that how we would
Yes.
label that?
Yes.
Low life. Alright, Kay said it wasn't admissible. Oh, that's why they didn't. That's why they couldn't bring it up. Because I was wondering, Kay. I was like, that's something serious. Oh, well. You're locked up. But find out what's that site. Why these kind of pictures are out here with children. That needs to be stopped. Alright, let's get back to it.
She had shorts on.
Did she still have a white shirt on?
She had she had the shirt that you gave her.
The white shirt.
All white?
It's
White,
long.
all white t-shirt, yep.
And you guys don't have alarms or anything on your doors if the door's open?
No.
Okay.
You should get one. You should get one.
It's too late.
And-
I'm talking about getting one.
Listen, I know this sounds dumb. I've lost my kids too.
Right.
Okay. Actually, mine just happened last week, and we went back in and we found them in the bedroom.
No, we just searched.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to who have you called? What
not
doors
called.
have you knocked on?
I don't know these people out here.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I called her.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And she told me she was at work. At first, I was riding around looking. And then me and my son started riding around looking.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then
So how long ago has it been? An hour?
it's been a couple hours.
Couple hours?
Couple hours.
Okay.
Couple hours.
Have we called grandmas? Have we called
That's
cousins?
what I just asked. She the one. I don't know all that. She knows all that.
She called my grandma already.
She
Okay.
knows all that, not me.
Okay. Do we have a picture?
She does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mom.
Yeah. She got the picture, bro.
Who's the girl that lives here?
Andrea.
Andrea? What's Andrea's last name?
Culberson.
Culberson.
He need a picture of her.
You don't have nothing with you right now. Okay, that's fine. Have we called family?
I've called everybody. I have my
Okay.
uncle out riding around. My mom's on her way out here. My
We've been
friend's on their
everywhere.
way out
We've
here.
been every
Okay.
fucking where.
And she's gonna be with a friend inside some apartment,
That's
most
why I
likely.
just said I'm gonna still look.
Okay.
We don't know anybody out here. Though. That's the
Yeah.
thing. She would have never.
How many-
She would have never. First of all, she would have never woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and she would have never.
What you mean? 8 o'clock in the
I'm
morning.
just saying.
That ain't what I
She
said. I
definitely
never
was-
said.
I know
Okay,
you
guys,
didn't say
guys,
that.
this isn't the time to fight.
Exactly. I don't give a fuck about you walking,
Hey,
nigga.
listen,
You
man.
lost her though.
How did I fucking lose?
Because you was watching her, Henry. What the fuck do you mean?
But hey,
I'm gone, sir. Come on, D.
listen to me.
Fuck that. I'm gone.
Well, you guys.
Okay. I know some people here disagree with me about her walking away like that. I just don't feel comfortable with it. I'm hearing everybody's, their thoughts and opinions, and thank you for sharing it. I just don't get that. She walked away and she said, F that. He's the officer. The officer's confused himself. He's not getting no evidence. No answers to try to solve this. I'll be like, Ham Hock, look, why don't you just walk away and talk to the officer? I'm just saying. Just my thoughts. I respect what y'all saying. I just don't. All right, Cadell said, Henry is a narcissist. He's overspoke when DL tried to speak. He created conflict with the mom to make the police think that she was the problem. Yep, this is what they do. You know this. This is what narcissistic people do. Place blame on others all the time. Resume.
You guys gotta come together right now. This isn't a time to fight about it. Okay? So, well, hey, if you... Well, how am I supposed to... What do you want me to do?
I got that. You see how she stepped on me? You know what I'm saying?
I got no picture. I got no... What do you want me to do?
What am I supposed to do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
All I can do is
Henry,
look.
I get it.
All I can do is look.
I get it, Henry. Henry, let's go inside the apartment one more time.
You are so welcome. I'm glad to have you on this channel. Glad to have you. And glad to have everybody too. Thank you. You're so welcome.
Look, this happens more often than you think. We just... I mean... Well, I understand why she's upset. But when I'm trying to help, she can't run away from me. I don't want to
deal with the issue.
Yes.
You got to keep a level head.
Yeah.
You know that. I learned that a long time ago. Fuck, man.
104 and 105.
How many times have you guys stayed out here?
How many times have I been out here? The kids, this is their first time.
Oh, it's the very first time she's ever stayed here.
104 and 105. Start 4.
And so
She's been over here, but they never stayed.
she has never stayed here.
Take the daughter out.
Like I said,
So I wonder just...
Daughter saying she was assaulted by the mom, and that the mom is not allowing her to get her things.
this is such a small. She's not in our look.
Okay, watch this before it's too late because my father's.
I'm fucking now. She gonna open the door, man. She's gonna open.
What's her name?
She's gonna open.
Hi there. Are you Andrea?
Yeah.
Okay, Andrea. What's your date of birth, Andrea? So tell me about, like, when was the last time you saw her?
She was here.
When?
What time was I fall asleep? Like around 11 midnight. She was here. She was in bed asleep.
Okay. And you guys never heard her come down, walk out? There's no forced entry or anything like that?
No forced entry.
Okay. Do you mind if I just come in and take a quick look? I'm not concerned about anything else. I just want to come in because probably 50% of the time we still find them inside the place when this happens. And
Well, I kind of do my face kind of wreck right now.
what's that?
My face is kind of in a wreck.
Listen, I go in all sorts of places. I don't care how big.
Is he aware of this?
What's that?
Is he aware of this?
Yeah.
My famous question to her is, if Ham Hock wasn't aware of it, what you was gonna do? What were you gonna say? You gotta be kidding me. She's not gonna be able to sleep. Your life is ruined. This is ruined. Wherever you work at, they probably want to get rid of you. It's gonna be hard for you to get another job. You're not even gonna be able to go to the mall, shop, order Uber. Ain't no other man well, there'll be some man will sleep with you because you got to hold your woman, so it is what it is. But you know, this is let's get back to it.
What's her name again? Was there any fights or arguments or anything last night? Bree is her name? Where was she sleeping at? Your bed? So where were you guys sleeping at last night? You guys slept out here? Can you look in the closet again? Huh?
It's all closed.
I know, I'm just telling you, you'd be surprised what we've...
I know, right?
So she was sleeping in the bed with her brother? And you guys slept out here?
Brenda, welcome, welcome. Very good question. That's where I get a bit confused, because he did say that. What I don't understand is, if your brother watched his dad kill his sister, why didn't he say something? That's why I get confused at. See, this is my thought. I kind of think maybe, I don't know. I was just like, maybe the brother's adding stuff to make sure that that his father goes down for taking away his sister. Because that is confusing. Yeah. Great question. All right, resume.
Okay. What time did you guys wake up?
Now, I was still asleep. I don't know what time everybody else got up.
Well, what time did you wake up?
Oh, goodness, honestly, I cannot remember what time I was.
Okay, like 30 minutes ago, 2 hours ago? 2 hours ago? Okay.
You said on the stand that you woke up at what was it, 3 o'clock, and you saw outside, but that's not what you tell the officer. Get back to it.
Hey, does she have any friends out here? Like, has she ever played with any of the neighbors? Okay, are you going to come out and help look or not?
Oh, it's good to watch these things again. I didn't hear that part from her. When he said, "Are you going to help me look?" and she said, "Give me 1 second." Oh, I thought she didn't say anything, just went back inside the house. Okay. Probably said, "Give me 1 second," because she wanted to text and call Ham Hock. Like, where are you? What am I supposed to do right now? Okay, I'll stop playing it because that's just him walking around by himself. And we already know Ham Hock done dipped and disappeared. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Thank you for engaging. Oh my gosh, this is justice for Breasia. Justice for you, beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, let me quickly just give my little closing thoughts here. And then I'll let y'all go. And then we have a moment of silence for the angel. Okay, my thoughts and opinions about this trial here. What I've learned from it. Number one is, my channel is all about dating, love, relationships, and toxic relationships. I use these trial stories, I use crime stories as teaching tools and articles, and then I give my advice. I use these things as teaching tools to help people to date smart and not thirsty. We have to be careful of who we decide that we want to lay down with and who we want to especially make children with. All right. And also, if you're a parent needs to teach their children about dating and relationships and show by example, because the schools is not going to teach you. That's not their job to teach you. It's the job of you as a parent, right? And you know, so many men and women out here, they date very thirsty. Okay. Men, they get caught up with a big butt and a smile. Oh, she looks good. You know, they get caught up and don't realize you could be laying down with Satan's daughter. Right? And women out here sometimes so desperate just to have a man, they'll take any piece of a man, and you end up with somebody like a ham hock, okay? No, ridiculous. And another thing too is, you know, women out here having kids by a bunch of dusty men back to back. I don't get it. Learn from the last one. Learn from the last mistake that you made. You know, it's just not healthy. It's not healthy at all. It's definitely not healthy for the children. And another thing too is, as adults, we are supposed to protect our children and be there for our children, right? And I feel like this little girl was not protected. Okay, children are supposed to come first. And I notice sometimes with parents, you know, with adults, they don't seem to want to put their children first. They don't want to, you know, sacrifice. They don't want to share, whatever it is and stuff. Which I can understand if you don't. Well, some people shouldn't just have kids at all. There's a lot of people that don't need to have kids. And it's so sad there's people out here that do want children, but they can't have any. Yeah, that's a whole nother subject, right? But I just feel that if she was protected and if she was put first, this wouldn't happen. There's no way in this world I would have my children be around no SO. It's just not happening. It's not happening at all. The son shouldn't have been there. She shouldn't have been here. If he wants to see his son, well, we're going to have to go to the courts and go from there and see what the judge has to say about it. And most likely be supervised visitation or none at all. And he should have never been around children at all. And Andrea, why are you giving 6 years of your life to this ham hock? You know he was a SO. You know he was. But you still was with him. And you didn't care about this little girl. This little girl was in your home. You was held responsible. You're responsible for her. And when you seen her outside 3 o'clock in the morning, if you're telling the truth there, which I kind of think so, you see at 3 o'clock and you didn't question? Oh, well, I just didn't question. What do you mean you didn't question? You just said that this man didn't have a job. That's what you said. Understand? He didn't have a job, so he laid it out in your house, right? You pay all the bills. Got the kids in here. You're responsible. Where's this girl? Why is she outside? And if you look at the size of that apartment, there's no way in this world you're going to tell me she did not notice him looking at that little girl. Because didn't DL say somewhere in the court of interrogation, I can't remember exactly what it was, but he said a statement that he was looking at her, like staring at her, when basically he was lusting at this little girl. Why is Ham Hock in the bedroom with this little girl? And she's right there in the next room. She's seen it. She felt when he got up in the middle of the night and he went over there creeping, but she kept her mouth shut. These are all my thoughts and opinions. I mean, I wasn't there. I could be wrong, but let's be real. We look at the size of the apartment. Everybody can see. You step out, you see the kitchen, you see the living room, you see the bedroom, you see the bathroom. If somebody goes to the bathroom, everybody's going to know that they're going to the bathroom. There's no hallways or nothing like that you can't see. And you're going to tell me she didn't see her fat man get up and walk into that room and get that girl? She knew. She knew. And she covered. But she'll pay for it. She'll pay for it. All right, so the bottom line is, date smart, not thirsty. Be careful the people that you choose to be in a relationship with. And women, stop dating these ex-convicts. What they have to offer you? Okay, why are you dating a man who's out here they have an order of protection because he's beating up his baby mama or his past girlfriend and stuff? You think you're going to be any different? And then you're bringing these losers in your home around your children? Are you kidding me? Around your children? I did a story I covered. This woman was dating some guy, ex-convict, a loser. She broke up with him. She had like 3-4 beautiful kids, right? He comes back to the house with gallons, like 4 gallons of gasoline to set the whole house on fire with her and the children in it. Those children could have died. See? This is what I'm talking about, because the decision that the parents decide to make of who they want to bring in their home around their children. He probably was hating those children from the day he seen them. Just staring, I can't stand them all. But thank God one of the kids woke up, smelled that gasoline, told the mother went outside, so he ended up killing the mother, but the kids is okay. So the point I'm just saying that we have to make wiser choice of who we're going to date. There's nothing wrong with dating. I know you want to move on, you want to meet somebody else. There's nothing wrong with that. God made Adam and Eve. God wants everybody to have somebody. but be careful who you choose and bring around your children. Yep. All right, enough of my soapbox. All right, everybody, had yourselves a blessed and a great one. Great. Thank God today, my day off today. Woo-hoo. Yeah. But blessings to you, Breasia. You're a beautiful girl, but you're safe right now. You're with your father, and God is going to take good care of you. No one else will harm you. And this ham hock eating face is going to pay for it. He's done. They're going to get him. I don't even want to imagine what happened. And that's one thing I hope that he never confessed about exactly what he did to this girl. I don't want to know. We don't want to know. We just want to end from this. All right, everybody, have yourselves a blessed one. And remember, date smart, not thirsty. And stay tuned for some more of Donna Just Being Real. Okay, and if you need to reach out to me, look in the description. You can find my email address and go from there. If you need coaching in dating, love, relationship, toxic relationship, or if you have a viewer's request, or you need to speak to me about something on the side, feel free to contact me. Bye. Adios.